What's up, Trad Nation? This is
Breaking Trad.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Breaking Trad. I'm Alan.
And I'm Matt.
I'm Amanda.
And I'm Brittany.
Brittany.
Very, very happy Brittany today. I'm
Because
impressed.
it's Friday
good.
instead of Tuesday.
It is Friday. It's a little different. We're doing it at the end of the week, and all for a good reason, for sure. Hey, I got a question, Matt. When are you going to take all this footage, like the beforehand stuff? You know, you got it black with the spinning logo, and then it fades into us.
Right.
When are you going to take that and make a compilation of all that?
He's probably deleted it all.
Oh, probably in a year.
We'll have enough.
In our
Sounds a good
down
time frame.
season.
Oh, I got you. October 15th.
When Brittany's not making his drive.
Yeah, somewhere around
1,000
October
miles away.
16th.
I got you.
9 hours and 21 minutes right now.
9 hours and 21 minutes.
Yeah.
To Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
That's what
That's
I said.
about how long it takes to edit and
As long as I can
put the whole
sleep this
video
time.
together.
I got you.
Look, she's in as long as she can sleep.
Can I sleep on the way there?
The whole way
Yeah.
At least
with the
part of
way
it.
with the way Brittany drives.
Probably not going to happen.
better hope Dairy Queen's not
Wait.
a waypoint on the way
Can
up
I
there.
take some Dramamine and like melatonin and try to sleep?
Well,
Just knock me
that'll
out.
probably be what it takes.
Probably.
Probably gonna have to take
Combo.
a couple of cow patties with you to make that happen. But
Well, how's everybody doing? It's Friday night. We're and feeling all
It's
right.
Friday
Yeah,
night.
see it. I knew that was coming.
And I want some Mexican.
Feel all right.
that does
Whoa,
sound good.
whoa.
hungry.
I'm the only man in your life, funny.
Does sound good though.
Wrong.
All right, guys.
From the west side.
Brandy.
I couldn't help it. You did it.
I know. That's on me. So let's get to our guest. Yeah.
Yes.
Let's do it.
One I'm excited to have on. Very well known in the sport. Gold and silver medalist. Holds world records in the 50, 25, and 18 meter.
And also fishing.
Winner of men's barebow in the 2022 Lancaster Classic, and was on the roster of mentors at the 2022 U.S. Single String Boot Camp. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. JD3, John Demmer III. Man, how are you?
Pretty good, guys. How you guys doing?
We're doing good.
So before we start, I got one question for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead.
What's going on in Michigan?
Oh, it's
Compton.
Compton.
Oh,
Rendezvous.
okay.
Yeah.
Yep. It's Compton
Okay.
weekend.
You want to meet us there?
No. the
He said you're on your
closest,
own.
the closest one for me is Etar, and that's only like 2.5 hours away. So I'll
Oh.
just do that one.
Brittany's still like trying to find us
Yeah.
flights because we're going to be at Pipestem
And yeah.
the weekend before,
But we cannot
Okay.
do.
but we can't drive all that way and then turn around and then drive twice as far
The
after
following
coming
weekend.
home. So
Yeah.
she's trying to figure out
Right.
how to like, get us some tickets.
In
plane
all
tickets out there.
actuality, I don't know that we could drive that far anyways because it's like a full 15 to 17 hour drive, no stopping.
Yeah.
And
We be
that would
stopping
be
a lot.
like, I think that would take us like 4 days.
Well,
For us,
the way you guys
probably.
have to stop.
you just need 3 people hopped up on melatonin and one driver.
Yeah. If Brittany's driving, we all have to be knocked out on something. you better put your seatbelt on.
I'm just, look, I got places to be and the car
She-
gets me there and I just make it happen.
Listen, we went to Pensacola last weekend. She beat us home by like a whole hour.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was insane. We all left about the same time. She's like, "We're home." I'm like, "My God,
We're
that means she's an
still-
hour ahead of us."
We were still an hour out.
Yeah, with Brittany, you're like, is that a pothole? Nope, that's a ramp.
Well, if you drive fast enough, there really are no potholes.
That's right.
You just
We've come to
fly.
find that out.
I don't know. So one time in Tennessee,
Here we go.
we had all went out to eat after, I think, what was it? The Tennessee Classic was the last
Was it the
year?
Classic?
I don't know. Well, we went
Probably
to
was,
Buffalo
yeah.
Wild Wings. We all ate.
Oh no, it's the world's. It was in
Oh yeah,
it was
Ideal
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 World.
World, yeah.
Yep.
Well, after we ate, I guess somebody had mentioned something about wanting ice cream.
Somebody.
There was a Dairy Queen on the way back. And she was in front of us and took this turn.
Really hard.
There were grates in the drive, and she hit those grates so fast
And
the
she
whole
got-
car. She has an expedition, like a huge expedition. And
she
it
got
went
5 foot of
airborne.
air. She got 5 foot of air.
I thought Matt went out the window.
Yeah, if my window had have been rolled down, it would have been a bad trip.
Listen, my man wanted ice cream, and I was getting him ice cream.
That's right.
She's gonna do whatever it took.
But that was my most recent near-death experience.
Always an adventure.
So we know you've been extremely successful in archery. We saw you in Ohio. You shoot great.
Ohio.
Ohio.
Some days.
Some days.
Well, at least that day. So anyway, tell us how you got started and what it was that made you pick up your bow.
What got started a long time ago. My cousin used to come up from Florida every year to archery hunt, and I was never into archery hunting. And I don't know, probably the third year he came up, I'm like, this ain't right. He gets to hunt like another 6 weeks longer than I can. I'm like, we gotta fix this. And then that got me into to hunting, which got me to go to the local archery range, Decker's Bows and More. They're no longer up and running anymore, but it got me there, and the shop owner there was heavy into competing and whatnot. And he shot, I don't know if you guys remember, probably not. It might be before you guys' time. ESPN had the outdoor games,
Mm-hmm.
and they had archery on it for a couple of years.
Yep.
In the last year that they had it, he won the silver medal for archery. So he was pretty heavy into that, and that got me into competing in the 3D.
Did you start with bare bow, or was it kind of a manifestation? What was your first bow?
My first bow was a compound, XI Legend Mag, which that company's no longer in business either. But yeah, it was a pretty cool bow. It was a extremely fast 220 feet a second. But I loved it. I shot it a lot until I was about 15 or 16. Then my friend got into archery as well, and he got a recurve, and we'd always go down to the Deckers and shoot some 3D. And I shot, I thought, pretty decent, and he shot pretty good for recurve. And he'd always be like, well, I shoot a recurve, it's much harder. And I'm like, okay, we'll see how this goes. So I bought a Martin longbow, which was like the worst bow you could ever shoot in your life. Like, it just, like, every time I shot that thing, and man, it felt like somebody's hit me right in the hand with a hammer. Just very, very unpleasant, teeth rattling, that kind of stuff. But that got me on the path of the more traditional side.
Gotcha.
By the way, Martin, anything that is said on this podcast has nothing to do with us.
I think that Martin, that was Alan's first or second bow, but it was a recurve.
Yeah, you won me a Martin Willow
Yeah.
takedown.
Alan shot the mess out of that thing.
I shot it till the limb started to split.
Yeah.
No offense, but the Martin ML15 or 14 Martin, that bow sucked. But my second bow ended up being a Martin Hatfield, which was a much more pleasurable bow to shoot for sure.
I got you. Well, what
Way to clean that up.
well, so you said 3D. Are you like what world do you live in most when it comes to shooting your bow? Are you primarily 3D, or are you more field? Like how does that work for you?
I really, at this moment in time, it's target. I've kind of my shooting through the years has changed. What my target was. It used to be 3D because that's what everybody close to me did.
Yeah.
And the more and more I shot it, I liked it. I made some great friends there. But after a while, it got sterile for me. Like it just got boring, driving that far to shoot 30 arrows, 40 arrows, and then drive all the way back home. After a while, it just became like the same thing over and over again. So
Right.
I needed to change things up a little bit and got into field archery some,
Mhm.
and that was pretty cool. If we had more field, that would be awesome. But it's not very popular for like the manufacturer sponsored type shoots.
Yeah.
So we don't get to shoot it a lot. But whenever I can get an opportunity and I get a close one,
Mhm.
I'm going to shoot that one because it's a lot of arrows. It's over, 2, 3, 4 days.
Okay.
We got the NFAA Field Nationals coming up in Mechanicsburg, which is like a 2-hour drive.
Oh, okay.
So I'm definitely going to hit that one, and we shoot that one for 3 days. I think we shoot 112 arrows one day, 112 arrows the next day, and then we shoot a minimum of 28. And if you miss, you shoot an extra one at each target. So, a minimum of 28. So that's
Yeah,
you're
that's-
pushing what 250 arrows there.
Oh yeah, for sure. How do you stay in it? Like, we went to Kentucky Trad Fest this year, and we all participated. We did was it 2 sets of 20?
Mhm.
It was 2 sets of 20, and then we all did the it was like All American. They called it All American, right? So it was 5 sets at 60, 5 sets at 50, and 5 sets at 40. And by the time
Okay.
I was done with that, like my arm was jello, man. What like?
Well, that's going to lead into down the conversation later.
Okay.
On the training part. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. All right. So, I guess this is what we were wanting to ask about the tactical shooting. So, let's talk about that phrase. We've heard you mention it before, but just kind of wanted you to explain exactly what you mean when you say tactical shooting.
Do you remember what context I used that in?
Well, I was in reference to about like your process, being able to evaluate your process.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, because I didn't know if that was more like field shooting, because I think field is like a very tactical
Well, please,
style of shooting.
yeah, please, by
What's
all
that?
means, don't let me hold you up. You go whichever way you
Okay.
want to go with it. Yeah.
Okay. I mean that's part of the reason why I like field so much. It's you don't walk up to the target and be like, okay, we just had that shot last 2 targets ago or 3 targets ago.
Mhm.
Or like 3D, sometimes you get stuck in a rut, 30 yards, you go to the next target, it's 28 yards, next target 30 yards. It's like, okay, it's the same shot, you just got to make the same shot. But field gets more involved because you got to shoot, like, depending on which field, if you shoot NFAA, you got to shoot was it something like 7 yards to 80.
Mhm.
And for like USA Archery, World Archery stuff, it's 5 to 50 meters. So you have to, like, tuning gets more involved.
Okay.
Sometimes the tuning can be a pain, but you got to make sacrifices somewhere.
Right.
So you got to be pick and choosy where you're going to make those sacrifices and how to deal with those sacrifices.
Okay.
And for like tactical, for shooting wise, like longbow. I mean, if longbow is a very simple way of shooting, it doesn't make it easy, right? You got to be more critical on your yardage.
Yeah.
Tuning wood sometimes can be a pain.
Mhm.
If the bow doesn't fit you at all, you're never going to get a straight line to begin with, no matter what arrow and weight combination you use.
Right.
So by no means am I saying it's easy, but it's very simple.
Okay.
Come to anchor up against the knock and just shoot. Right.
Right.
Same thing with the trad, like a trad class where there's no string walking or face walking. Very easy way to set it up.
Mhm.
Barebow, it's kind of, you have more bits and pieces to play with.
Okay.
So barebow, you can get away with like a couple different tunes, so it makes it a little bit more of a thinking game of like arrow layout, not necessarily like shooting an event, but
Mhm.
just arrow layout. And sometimes if you're really good at it, you can kind of outsmart people in that aspect, where you can kind of find a more forgiving setup
Okay.
Not necessarily one that has like a perfect bear shaft or something like that,
Right.
but along the lines of like, say right now, like I'm shooting 50 meters.
Okay.
I'm shooting like a 29.5-inch arrow, 700 spine, shooting 43 pounds on the fingers and 110 grain point, right?
Okay.
I could probably get that same poundage on the fingers, same draw length. I could probably get a 650 to work,
Mm-hmm.
if I left it like, 31 inches.
Okay.
I could get a 750 to work if I cut it back to like 28 and a half and ran 90 grains or 80 grain points.
All right.
You don't always have that luxury with traditional or longbow, because sometimes you're trying to achieve a certain point on, and so a lot of times you want your arrows longer, because just the way we anchor, a lot of times we're just way too far out there. We got to shorten it up the best we can or get it closer.
Well,
And same thing with a longbow too.
Can I ask with your 700 with 110, 29 and a half, right? That's what you said?
Yeah.
So what is your point on for that setup?
My point on is well beyond 50. It's I'm guessing it's probably like 60 meters, somewhere on there.
Okay.
So it's out there. I got probably half inch, 5/8 inch crawl, maybe 3/4, somewhere on there. It's a pretty good crawl
For a 50 set?
for 50, yeah.
Okay.
And for me, that's no big deal. I've string walked enough that a crawl is not a big deal. I actually prefer not to shoot against the knock anymore for a barebow, only because that style of shooting has created a different finger tension for me.
Okay.
And if I go against the knock anymore, it takes me a while to relearn what I need to do, because when I pull back, a lot of times my finger is lifting that arrow off of the rest.
Okay.
Where, back in the day when I shot trad a lot, the finger pressure and whatnot would keep that arrow on, but now it's going to be lifting off. So that doesn't bother me anymore. But tactical wise, like for shooting itself, you got to be like, I don't know. I guess it's the same for everything, longbow and recurve and trad, or different labels for the classes out there.
Yeah.
You got to be cognizant of what you're doing, right?
Right.
You got to be aware of your finger pressure every time and your shoulder alignment. A lot of the times, if you do it enough, it becomes natural.
Muscle memory, second nature.
Yeah. Yeah, and you don't feel it. Like, you don't feel what most of your shot actually is.
Right.
But you do feel it when it's wrong.
Yeah, you definitely
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's where you got to be smart about things and figure out real quickly, okay, what felt wrong? Was that my finger pressure? Okay, no, it wasn't my finger pressure. It was something.
Did I anchor in the right spot, or did I pull? Yeah, did I get reach full draw, things like that?
Collapse.
Yeah, a lot of times
time.
Yeah, and people, I see it all the time, and like they're like, oh, I made 3 good shots. They group like garbage, and I'm like, well, maybe they came off your fingers the same, but I'm like, there's a little bit of collapse in there, and not a lot of people realize what a collapse is sometimes. It's just a lot of times it's just your shoulder. You didn't get it square. You were short on it.
Right. Didn't get it locked back there like you needed to.
Yeah, and when you're short on things, it just gives you a different direction when you let go of that arrow. Like, that bow wants to go a different direction. The arrow is going to go a different direction because of it.
Right. You find that sweet spot, evaluate what you're doing, build your process, and just make sure you repeat that consistently until it just becomes second nature. Yeah. Just be aware of what it is you're doing. Right.
Yeah. Like when I build my shot, I want everything to be as natural as possible. The shop owner a long time ago told me in the beginning, he's like, hey, you want to set your bow shoulder right? I'm like, yeah. He's like, all right. He's like, come on over here, walk towards the wall, walk to the wall. And he's like, all right, I want you to lean against that wall. I'm like, okay. And I leaned against that wall, and he's like, is that pretty strong? He's like, you feel pretty sturdy? You could do that for 15, 20 minutes? I'm like, yeah, I think so. And he's like, yeah, it looks good. He's like, that's the way I want you to hold that bow. Like, that's where I want your shoulder to be. But like, and then he'd push me out of alignment. Now he's like, now you feel that? I'm like, oh yeah. He's like, yeah, I could feel that on the inside of my shoulder.
Right.
He's like, yeah, you can't, that's not going to be stable for you. You're not going to be able to support any weight that way. And then vice versa, you go the extreme the other way. And so that, like, I build stuff in my shot to keep it simple, right?
Right.
You don't want to fight the bow any more than you have to. Like, if I'm pulling 43 pounds, I don't have to take a lot of time to build up that strength to shoot it. I'm not saying 43 is a lot, but if you shoot a 72 arrow scoring round in 3 hours, it's a lot. It's a lot of weight.
A lot. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's coming from a guy that shot IBO many years shooting 52 pounds. Not that big of a deal when you shoot one arrow, every 10 minutes.
Right.
But shooting like 6 arrows in a 2.5 to 3 minute span it's a lot more.
I'm definitely gonna have to up my game next year. I've been shooting 30 pounds for like the last 4 years, and before that I was shooting 25 pounds. Like,
hey,
if I want to shoot field or anything that's gonna have those distances, like, I'm like definitely gonna have to
step it up a little bit.
Step it up a little bit.
Well, that's where you got to live in your body's limitations as well, right?
Right.
You can't do what your body isn't built for. Like, some people aren't super strong, and some people aren't super limber. So, the people that are very flexible might have a different looking shot than someone that just doesn't have that same flexibility.
Yeah.
Same thing with strength. Not everybody's built to handle weight. I know people that shoot 60 pounds on the reg, and there's no way. I mean, back when I was 24, I could.
Yeah.
I can't now, and nor do I want to be honest with you.
Right.
Well, the reason I shoot such a lightweight is because, like you said, you're used to going, like, we shoot 3D tournaments, and most of the time it's 20 to 30 targets, and you go home. But I'm not shooting 20 to 30 targets and then turn around and going home. I'm gonna try to make
120.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to run through
as many
times as I possibly can. So
nice.
In order to be able to keep going, I guess. Yeah, I shoot something light. But
and that's what bums me about 3D most of the time is you only get to do it once, and then that's it. You're not allowed to do it again.
I hate like when it's not a multi-round.
When our club they do multi-round shoots. The club that we're in down here, the ASTB, and then the Howard Hill is a multi-round shoot, and that's where she got in it. And so it was like.
So I'm shooting like recurve, longbow, primitive, and I'm just running through trying to like get as many rounds in with each one as possible.
Nice.
So.
That's why I really like the IBO trad worlds. If I get opportunities to go there, I like going there because you can do the same thing. You can shoot your 30 round in 2 classes. Then you can shoot, if you're a male and you get lucky, you get to shoot the Sadie Hawkins, which I've only been pulled once.
How is that even possible? I guess it's because it's a name draw.
Yeah, it's draw.
And if I remember correctly, the male partner in that was they picked Dwayne and myself at the same time. So
wow, they had a stacked team, that's for sure.
Yeah, that was a heavy hitting. That was a heavy hitting team. We didn't lose, by the way.
I was going to say,
I had no doubt. You know what I mean?
Wasn't a question. Okay, so on to number 4, did you lose?
Well, so all right, I'm going to ask this question, and you can say pass, or we can, give us your thoughts on it or whatever. But I read that even though you can shoot lights out, you're a hell of a shot. Oops, sorry. That a big part of it for you is bringing attention to the sport. Yeah. And so, we thought, and it kind of lines up with our beliefs too, as far as breaking trad in the show, like we think knowledge is the best way to go about bringing that attention or giving people, taking away the fear of getting out there and doing it, giving them some sort of aspect of what it is they need to do to get started.
Giving them a place to find the shoots,
right,
where they
exactly.
can go, and getting more people to the clubs.
So, like, in your opinion, what is it that you think that causes people to kind of overlook archery as a sport, and what is it that the archery community can do to rectify that situation, do you think?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Loaded
We're-
question.
That's
on
why-
it.
well, that's why I said
That-
we-
that was-
we're
that-
getting
that
deep,
wasn't
John.
that wasn't the direction I thought that question was going to go in.
Well,
Now I need to know what direction you thought he was going. See which one's going to be better.
Yeah, go ahead and answer both ways.
Well, I was thinking like the best way to get attention to like trad or barebow or longbow or whatever is to be fun about it. I started dressing like in loud colors and kind of being a little goofy, and with the hopes of like I knew I was pretty decent, but I didn't know if I was going to be great or not, and I still don't think I am, but I thought I'd be good enough that people would like look twice.
Yeah, right.
And it'd be like, oh, he looks pretty fun, and you know what? That actually looks pretty cool to shoot that way, and oh, they can hit the middle sometimes, that kind of deal, and just bring fun, bring some fun and just the welcoming atmosphere or attitude, or
Right.
just that kind of aura. Try to be welcoming and just be fun and goofy and
Have a
whatnot.
good-
And that's how.
And have a
That's how
good
it
time and do it in front of
Yeah.
people. Yeah.
Yeah, and and if you want to have a brewski afterwards, have a brewski afterwards.
Well,
Or
I
during.
I didn't mean I didn't mean that for that to be a loaded question. So we hear a lot of times, like in the club situation, it's like volunteers and things like that is an issue for clubs to maintain. I was just curious, like what we can have a good time. I guess you answered the question as far as, and what is it that we can do as a community to rectify that situation? I think,
Yeah, have fun.
yeah,
I think your volunteer is a separate issue.
yeah,
Because I think that's involved with everything.
It's harder for
Nobody-
people to get there because most people have to work. It's so hard to even get to the shoot, let alone be able to take off extra days to get up there to help. It's not as easy as it used to be.
Yeah, and nobody really wants to, like, it's a shame to think that way, but not a lot of people want to donate their time anymore.
right.
I've known some clubs that were pretty successful with having like a decent rated membership fee for annually.
Mhm.
And what they did was they had like two tiers. They had the working tier and the paying tier. And they had enough members where, if you wanted to donate your time, which your working time was like 8 hours a year,
Mhm.
let's just say it was 8 hours a year. And so your membership fee was like, say, $50 a
Mhm.
year. But if you were a non-working member, then your membership fee was like, $200, $300 a year.
There
Right?
you go. Right.
And what they did with that extra money was, pay people, bring somebody in and hire, one or two,
Somebody
three
to
people.
run the books and all that other good jazz.
Yeah, and that's the way they dealt with that. And they did it, and that's it. As long as your club is, well taken care of and the facilities are halfway decent,
Mm-hmm.
and the local population is pretty decent, then that's definitely one way to go around, not having volunteers. As for the aspect of getting the general population of looking at archery, man, that's tough, because a lot of people view a bow and arrow as a weapon, and that's a lot of times that's simulated with a negative thought.
Right.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Oh, we can't even post certain things on Facebook. It takes it down. I got banned because I commented something about shoot them all. I said shoot them all, but I was in
Talking
reference
about
to all the
primitive-
classes that you can shoot in. And
Yeah.
I got banned from Facebook for like 3 months. And I'm like, what do you think I was talking about shooting?
Was that the only reason you got banned, or was there other things going on?
No,
I mean,
that
like,
was
no.
it. And then I got extra time added on because I screenshot where they banned me for it, and I was like, "What the heck?" And they banned me again.
Yeah,
Man.
she got put in Facebook jail for sure.
Yeah,
That's when you
Facebook
create
jail.
a troll account and do whatever you want.
exactly.
Mhm.
Sounds like you got experience there, Demmer.
Cause trouble.
Hey, now.
Don't be calling him out like
I didn't say nothing.
So John, we know that you're a huge fisherman And we're kind of curious what your archery to fishing ratio is. And in reading about that, we've learned that you may not shoot your bow as often as some do. So, how do you prep for upcoming events?
Yeah. Well, if I don't have anything coming up, I do other stuff. So, so like right now, it comes in spurts. Like I'm a really big trout fisherman. I love fishing trout. Springtime is the best for trout. Summertime gets a little slow depending. It gets very weather dependent, water level dependent. You know, if the water is low and the temps are high, then it's no good for trout. Like trout's not. They're not as strong as like largemouth. Largemouth can survive in a puddle basically, and you can catch it and let it go. It's no big deal.
Right.
But a trout, there's like an effective range. Like so, as soon as that water gets up pushing like 68 degrees, you're not supposed to fish for them anymore because you can actually kill them. And the warmer it gets, the more dangerous it gets for the fish. And trout and stuff. I release like 99.9% of the trout unless there was just like a fatal hookup or something, and which there usually isn't. But once in a while
it happens.
You can't help it.
It's like that squirrel that runs out in front of you, and you try to avoid it.
You never tried to kill it.
Like the ones that keep stealing all your bird seed.
Yeah, I mean it's terrible when you have a fatal hookup and you have to eat that trout.
Yeah, but I would rather catch. I do all my catch and keep through the ice with bluegill and crappie. I think they're way better anyway. But
I can agree with you on that.
So summertime, it can get slow. Like springtime, I try to fish like 3-4 times a week if I can. Summer, it gets down to like maybe once a week. I might start doing some nighttime trout fishing, which is kind of pretty cool.
Really?
And so summertime it opens up more of like the gardening season and archery. So like right now I'm not in the mood to shoot any 3D, so I haven't been shooting much at all. But we have Target Nationals coming up for USA Archery, and we got some heavy hitters coming for that. Like my friend Grayson. Some people know him, some people don't. He doesn't shoot a whole lot, but he's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And Matty Yaka is pretty good, and Robbie Wessinger's coming up. He's pretty good. Still trying to get Dwayne. Man, I'm gonna shame Dwayne Martin into shooting that target one year. But he's got
Dwayne. He's calling you out, buddy. He's calling you out, Dwayne.
he's got bigger fish to fry right now. Because he's shooting for the 3D World Team, which I'm pretty proud of him.
Yeah.
51-year-old man still whooping up on them boys.
Right. No, he's a good guy, man. He's an awesome shot and very friendly. Like you guys, both you guys, it's just it was a text conversation. We worked it out and you guys came on the show, and we all appreciate that. Appreciate the kind of people you guys are for sure.
Yeah, he's a pretty good dude. He's a pretty good shot too. I love shooting against him. Don't always win against Dwayne. Dwayne can lay the hammer sometimes. But yeah, I got that 50-meter game coming up. It's like 2 months away. I think it's in middle of August, which is now the time that I want to start shooting for it.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily shoot all the time for it yet. I just started. I picked it up probably about a week and a half ago. I started picking it back up again. Working on tune and trying to get the reps back up. But like right now, target is probably 2-3 times a week, and between 30 and maybe 80 arrows. It depends on my mood and depends on what's required in the garden, because we got a pretty big garden going too.
I've seen some posts on there about, I guess you guys got like a little giveaway spot at your house or something that you're going to throw. Yeah,
it's not going to get used for like another 2 months because our growing season kind of sucks. Like our last frost 2 years ago, we had frost in the middle of June.
Wow.
And it pretty much killed my whole garden. I had to replant the whole thing.
It's 110 here. We're dying.
Yeah. Yeah. Where I'm like, I don't know. It's weird. If I drive down to Lancaster, which is only like 3-hour drive, maybe it's basically 2 hour as the crow flies. But the way Lancaster is situated, I kind of got to drive all the way around, or I drive through towns at like 30 miles an hour.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
in pothole city. So I can't airmail those potholes. But yeah, they get like their growing season's like 2 months longer than mine.
Really?
Yeah, they're probably at a solid 85, 90 degrees every day now. Where we got a cold front coming in next week, or tomorrow actually. Tomorrow
What?
it's supposed to be a high of 56, and yeah, so
That number sounds so amazing to me right now.
it's quite refreshing. I ain't gonna lie.
We've had a heat wave advisory for a week. And I think next week it's gonna be 110.
Yeah, it's gonna be even hotter next week. Like our air conditioners, you can't nothing. It's like 90 degrees in our house. We had to go buy extra air conditioners to help our big air conditioner. It's been miserable.
Nice.
56 sounds so good.
Yeah. Hey, you deal with what you deal with. In the winter we can hit 0. So
yeah, you can keep that number. We don't want that number.
your AC is our heating oil.
Yeah.
As soon as it's like 65, I'm like freezing.
Yeah.
All dressed up in winter jackets.
Yeah.
Maybe not quite winter jackets, but I definitely have like long sleeves.
She's seen 66 and 65. Went ahead and put the chains on the tires.
Yeah, don't let her fool you. She'll be in a boggin and has the fur and everything on in like 60-degree weather.
They try to sweat me out of the office.
Nice. I don't pull out the Crocs with the fur until it hits about 10 degrees.
Yeah. Not Brittany. She Brittany looks like she walked straight out the igloo at 60. So
whatever.
Got the furry.
She's like, get off me, Matt.
Right.
Yeah, I bet she is.
Well, you want the last one there?
I can.
Yeah, go ahead.
You didn't want to take it this time?
No, go ahead. Squash it. Go ahead.
Wait. Hold on a second. So, we digress quite a bit on this.
Yeah, we did. Sorry.
But,
that 80 kicked in hard.
But for ramping it up, like I said, like I'm in the beginning stages now, and like I'm 2 months out. But I get to about a month out, and that's when I start really ramping things up. And like Target Nationals is like it's a mini arrow event. Like I was saying before, it's a 72 arrow round, and then I opt in for the team events after that round. So, it might be you might shoot 9 arrows, or you might shoot 6 arrows, 2, 4, 6. Yeah, you might shoot 6, but if everything works out, like you might not shoot 6, you might shoot another 30. So it could be 100 arrow a day, right?
Right.
And that comes, that'll be on Thursday, Friday as well, because we shoot the team events Friday as well, and then Saturday we shoot the head-to-heads, and Saturday's a lighter day, but you could still shoot up to like 70 arrows. So I like to train and prep harder than the event is. So like I'll ramp it up a month ahead. I'll start ramping up and try to shoot 3, 4, 5 days at 100 or so a clip.
Wow.
Because you don't want to be tired at any point during the competition. Right. If you're tired, you failed. Your prep work was subpar. Yeah. So like take the Lancaster Classic. I heard Lee said he was starting to get tired. And God bless him. Lee's an awesome guy. But he probably should have done a little bit more prep work. And I'm not saying he could have won, but he definitely could have taken out the tiredness of it. Because like you take my prep work in that Classic, leading up to about a week prior, my training sessions were 120 arrows, because I know we're going to shoot 60, and I'm not going to be tired at 60 if I train 120.
Yeah, if you double it.
And then while we shot the Classic, I would shoot the round at the Classic, and then I would hit the practice bales for another 50 or 60, just to just to be in shape, because you take a day off, especially when you get to that high level where you have to be on point day after day. If you only have to be on point for one day, no big deal. You shoot and boom, you're done. You don't have to shoot anymore. But if you shoot that qualification round, you need to be on point the next day. Right. So I'll hit a little bit more. And just like anything, just like anything in life, if you're a runner and you take like 3 days off, when you come back, man, you feel like you missed like a month of training. Like you just, it's off. So the same thing with archery, like that final shoot off day, you shoot your matches in the morning, and then we had, probably like a 6-hour break, something like that, maybe 7-hour break. And then come in. And that's, I took a few hours off, and then I probably shot, off and on, probably another 70 arrows just to stay loose.
Yeah.
And so like my stamina on that, that stage is going to be on point. I'm not going to have that as my weakness. And that's my attitude to training towards anything like 3D. If, back when I shoot 3D, and I'm hoping to have time to shoot the IBO open worlds. I won't have time to shoot the trad worlds, but I'm hoping to have time to shoot the open worlds. Okay. I'm going to train towards that the same way that I have in the past. And it's kind of weird. I don't shoot 3D animals. I own a Reinhardt spike buck for at least 10 years now, and it has probably 50 arrows in it. And they were all shot from a tree stand prepping for hunting. There you go. but none of them were shot for 3D. I would shoot dots. I found dots to make my groups tighter. And if you treat a 3D animal like a dot, it's the whole aim small, miss small, but mentality. I'm not shooting for 10 rings. I'm shooting for 11 rings. Right. And what the 11 rings shooting for 11 rings is going to do is going to take care of all them 10s. Gotcha. It's going to clean up your grouping. And so I just shoot dots, and I shoot, 6 to 10 arrow ends at dots, from all over my yard, and just to make sure I got that gap memorized and become second nature. And so that aspect is never going to be the weakness of my game is the stamina. Right.
You're going to be always where you want to be at the 60 or the 30 or 50 arrows or whatever, because you've surpassed that in training. You've gone twice that much. Yeah. You've exhausted yourself at 120 consecutive enough to maintain the 60 arrow shot.
Yep. And there's some events that I shoot, like Frank McDonough hosts some events where we shoot the double 720. So we'll shoot 144 arrows in 7 hours. And arrow 1, I'm just as strong as I am arrow 144. Wow. And it's important that if you're gonna ever take it serious or want to be the best you can be at a certain event, that you should train for stamina as well.
Yeah. I agree wholeheartely. Fatigue is a big thing. And even running, like last weekend, we was in Pensacola, Florida, doing the trad shoot down or whatever, or the IBO southeastern. Yeah, southeastern. Whatever. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Forgive me, IBO. But no, when we were on 25, when we were on our 25th target, dude, we were done. I was done. I'm like,
because we haven't been out shooting in the heat of the day.
Yeah.
Like it just it took us out. Like
that's a different. That's like a compounded problem.
Yeah.
One might not be stamina, but the other one is you got to be like self-aware of nutrition.
Yeah.
That's what people tend to forget sometimes, especially if you're out in the sun.
Staying hydrated. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like we had nutrition covered. I mean, we had honey buns and everything on the way there. So.
Oh, sugar.
Not on the way there. That was after.
I did have tacos. Lots of tacos.
Well, it's important. Like especially like when I'm getting prepping for, and that stuff is just it's not like actual prep work for it. It's just it's a different kind of prep. Like that's going to be in your like to bring thing category. Yeah. It's not, you don't have to prep for that. Like I don't have to prep for that now, but I prep for it the day before, so I pack in all my stuff that I need. Because I've gotten heat stroke before, so I'm more susceptible to that now. I've actually got it probably 3 times maybe, very, very bad. So like I have to be more conscious of that. So I got to make sure like I'm not drinking water because water's not going to cut it. I have to be drinking the electrolytes, some stuff with a little bit of salt, so I'm retaining that water a little bit more. With vitamin Bs, I got to be more aware of that. And that stuff like when you're shooting down Florida or you're shooting like the Tennessee Classic or the IBO when they had it in Tennessee was brutal. I remember shooting in 100 degree humidity.
Yeah.
We were there.
Full humidity,
It was
100
hot.
degrees. Yeah.
But it's amazing if you're like eating enough during the shoot to not overindulge, but to maintain, and you're drinking the appropriate things to maintain. It's amazing how much your energy level stays up, and you don't have that energy dump towards the end of the shoot where when you start getting that energy dump, now you're like your scores are dropping, you stop caring, you're mentally disengaged.
You get
it's
that
the perfect
fog.
storm of it's the perfect storm of failure.
Right.
So what is a typical day in the Demmer diet for the shoots?
For the shoot, I'll grab like right now I'm big on like because I work in the heat too. Like I got these like the squirt bottles. I have a bunch of vitamin B. Some of them have caffeine if I need a little bit more pick me up, but
I think that's what I'm drinking right now.
I'll try not to do the caffeine thing while I'm shooting, but I'll have the ones with all like the vitamin Bs and stuff.
Yeah.
I'll have that. Yeah, and like it's like an oatmeal bar. I'll have a couple of like kind of like oatmeal peanut butter bar type stuff. Because peanut butter is pretty good. It's
protein wise,
yeah, it takes a while to like get flush it out of the system, so it sticks around for a little while, and it you can maintain quite a bit. I'll show my age here. I used to watch the Winter Olympics back in the 80s, and Bonnie Blair was one of our most decorated speed skater, female speed skater / any gender speed skater of all time. And dude, she would eat like 2 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches before every meet.
Really?
Gotta get the PB&J.
Are you taking notes, Brittany? Next trip, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Yeah, she's planning on getting with him after the show
You're
for the
in
Demmer
charge of
diet.
that.
Hey, is it okay if we like trademark this and start selling it? We'll cut you in.
It's the Demmer pack, like a Lunchable.
Yeah, see?
Demmer packs.
Peanut butter jelly time.
Right.
Peanut butter jelly with a baseball bat.
Peanut butter Demmer. Peanut butter Demmer.
But Demmer or John, excuse me, we
Demmer, we're on last name basis now.
There you go.
but we're kind of getting close to an end. We're gonna ask one more question and then we'll call it. Yeah.
Well,
Make it a good one.
I don't have a question to ask, but so before Matt asks this last question, I just want to say you mentioned shoot in the middle. You hit the middle a lot. We want you to help us spread the word. When you shoot the middle,
yes, you have to do
yell,
this.
Dinger!
Wait, did he say it? Did he say dinger?
I did. I knew where this was going.
Oh my god. You got to do it, man. You got to.
Anywhere we go on the 3D range, you can hear dinger through the woods when we hit one.
We were shooting 3D ASA one year with Jeff Ogilvy, and Jeff hits the middle, and he's got that real raspy voice. He's like, "Danger!" And we're like, what? And we look down there, we glass it, and it's 11. We're like, okay. And then that's through the whole round of the ASA. And we were like trying to like put the pressure on each other, and we were like, "Danger!"
Oh yeah.
I love it.
We got a shirt. We're gonna I'm gonna try to get you one. All right. It says Dinger Slinger on the back of
Nice.
it.
Yeah.
Nice.
What size you need? We'll get it out to you.
right now it's probably XL, but I'm working towards a large.
Aren't we
Way to
all?
go,
Which
Brittany.
size
Aren't we
would you
all?
Way to
like?
go, Brittany.
By the way, you can
size
pick up the
would-
dimmer diet at Break and Tread.
Which size would you like us to send you? You can tell us afterwards. It's fine.
The motivation. We'll
The
do it motivational.
All
Get
right,
him the
we'll get you the
large.
large.
The large. Large
Got
and in
it.
charge.
Okay, so one last question. So somebody that's just getting into traditional archery, what's the one thing
Or
you would
single string.
recommend for them to do? Anything single string.
Oh, the one thing. It's a pretty standard response, and it should be across the board for everybody. Is sometimes you're not blessed, but sometimes you are, and you don't even know it.
Mhm.
Seek out the best person in your area, the best shooter in your area. They might not be the most open to giving like trade secrets or their trade secrets or whatnot,
Mhm.
but find somebody that's better than you. Preferably find somebody that's way better than you, and just shoot with them. If they don't mind,
Right.
shoot with them. Like, even if they don't tell you anything, you're just going to be picking up stuff just watching them shoot.
Yep.
Right.
Right. Right.
And if you're really truly blessed, find somebody that shoots multiple styles too. Don't get caught up with, like, say, if you can, like a 3D homer or an indoor homer,
Mhm.
or get somebody that's like well versed in the sport. Like, they're multifaceted shooters, and you'll pick up stuff from them that you won't pick up from like the specialist.
Right.
Yeah.
So to sum it up, find a mentor.
Yeah, find the best one that you can find, because there are some, the tricky part is, for like a new shooter, there are some really good shooters
Mhm.
that are actually not great teachers. Not everybody can be a teacher.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So trying to decipher through what they're saying sometimes can be a little tricky.
Mhm.
For someone like that, just pay attention to what they're doing,
And
right?
if they're a
Um,
whole foot and some odd inches taller than you,
Get a step stool.
Yeah.
Right. I need my stool so I can shoot.
But something like that from even someone that's not very good at articulating things, you can notice things of like consistency.
Yeah.
Maybe their anchor is not very good, or maybe their release isn't very good, but they're doing it the same over and over and over again.
Right.
There's a lot to be learned about consistency. Even if it's bad consistency, it's still consistency, and that's gonna trump inconsistency, no matter how good everything else looks.
Well, you're still in good shape, honey.
Yeah, you can see that, but Amanda raised her
So-
hand.
I
on
raised
that.
my hand real.
So I guess that brings us to our last question. So when are you available for us to shoot with you?
Yeah.
Lancaster
I'm-
2023.
Yeah,
All right.
or USA Target Nationals or NFAA Field Nationals.
Brittany's
Write 'em
writing this
down.
down.
Wait,
That-
can you say
that's a-
that slower?
She's
That's a
doing
long-
chasing you around.
That's a long way. That's a long drive though for you guys.
Very long.
So yeah, Lancaster 2023.
We will be there.
Yeah, we're
it's-
gonna
We'll
try
be
to be
there.
there.
we're going to Spooky
No,
Nooks.
we're not trying. We're gonna.
We're not trying. We're going.
I said
It's pretty amazing. To be honest with you, we'll probably get like 300 barebow shooters at one event. It's crazy. Yeah, it seems like that's the rally call for like
Yeah.
barebow and traditional style. Like, even though like a traditional, traditionally the traditional sense of the word, it doesn't represent in a class.
Mhm.
The mindset does. It's pretty crazy, like how we have maybe, I don't know, 15-20% of the classes there,
Mhm.
like the total number of shooters are shooting barebow. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to see that many shooters under one roof at the same time. Like, Vegas
Yeah.
gets a lot more, but they're spread out into different rooms and whatnot.
Yeah.
But to get everybody under Spooky Nook, especially the shoot-offs. Like everybody in the shoot-offs are under the same roof at the same time is pretty freaking wild.
Yeah, just to be there to witness it would be pretty cool. I mean, I'm gonna shoot in it. I just don't know how
Of
far
course.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna try my best.
Well, John, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say it, and usually Frank and myself and somebody else usually does a seminar there at the same time. A lot of people don't like coming to them, but hey, we did Target Panic like twice, and not enough people came to them. There should have been a lot more.
Yeah.
Because a lot more people need to figure some things out.
And I think a lot of people don't realize that they have target panic. Like they do, but don't notice it.
It's such a vast term that people just use in general. It could be a plethora of things, but people just, stick that dirty label on it at all times.
Well, I would have to say, if you are going to be around at the Lancaster and John puts on a seminar, be sure to be there because we were at the, single string, and I took in a lot of information. Like you were very good at talking people through what you were trying to explain,
distances and things like that.
Yeah,
so
I
would definitely go.
I hope next time it's going to be more time. Like I felt super rushed. 40 minutes a clip is a lot to try to stick some information out there.
Yeah.
Definitely.
when you're talking about a topic that could take like hours.
Right.
Yes.
just to dip your toes in the water.
Just to get enough interest in there.
Yeah.
Well, John, I appreciate you coming on the show, man. It really means a lot to us. Like I said, this is the best community. Archers in general, the archery community, they're great people, great folks. All I had to do was, hey, man, you want to come on the show? Sure, I'll come on the show. I was like, all right, great. But no, thank you very much. We really appreciate it.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Well, I guess that's it. Yeah, I think we're running 54, so we will see you at Spooky Nooks, if not before then.
Sounds good.
All right, man.
Looking forward to it.
Right.
Bye now.
Bye.
Later.
All right, so we have a list of shoots for you guys. Let's see what we got coming up here. We have the state championship, Hoosier Traditional, July 1st through the 3rd.
And we've got an ASA qualifier at Marshall County Bow Hunters here in Albertville, Alabama, July 2nd and 3rd.
We'll have another ASA qualifier held by Jefferson County Bow Hunters. That's located in Garndale, Alabama, July 9th through the 10th.
And July 9th, Buck Hollow will host an open shoot in Dixon, Tennessee.
Another one for July 9th, the fun shoot or competition will be in Harrodsburg, Kentucky.
And then July 10th, Buck Hollow Vintage Bow Shoot Trad only. That's in Dixon.
Yes. Rocky
Tennessee.
River Archery Club hosting a 3D shoot on July 10th, located in Monroe, North Carolina. I really got to go back and fix the things.
And then Twin Oaks Critter Shoot. Come on out. You'll see us there. That is 25 targets, Saturday only, July 16th.
And then the IBO Traditional World Championships are going to be held Thursday, July 21st through the 24th in Popstem, West Virginia.
Come on out. We'll be there too. And Alabama State ASA Championship, July 23rd through the 24th at Cornerstone Ranch in Mount Olive, Alabama.
That's the 23rd end.
23 and
3 end. All right. And then we have ETAR, the Eastern Traditional Archery Rendezvous is going to be Wednesday through Sunday, July 27th through the 31st at the Ski Sawmill Resort in Morris, PA.
And if you want to help us get there, you just let us know.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying real
We got to
hard.
go fund me. Get us to ETAR.
GoFundMe. And or if you just have flight miles that you're not going to use that are going to expire, throw them our way.
I mean, yeah, you can buy us plane tickets too. We'll take that.
We just need a plane ticket because we just cannot do the drive. We just
Too
can't
far.
do it. And last but not least for this episode, second annual traditional rendezvous in Jackson, Michigan, July 28th through the 31st. So the 2031st. What in the world?
All right. That's all.
That is who is that? Is that Matt? That's Matt. Show everybody.
Baby Matt.
Ain't he cute?
You know who we looks like? Tell me if you can.
He looks like he's starving to death.
He looks
I
like
was
Billy
starting
Idol's
to.
character in the labyrinth.
He looks like Dylan and
The
Cole
Labyrinth?
Sprouse.
Labyrinth.
He looks like Dylan and Cole Sprouse in Big Daddy. Baby Daddy. No, Big Daddy.
Oh yeah, I wipe my own.
Yeah, it is who he looks like.
Mm-hmm.
There's
I've got that a
another one
lot.
that He looks like there's another one where he really, really looks like that.
But I've been told I look like a lot of celebrities, so you know, Dwayne Martin being one.
Well, okay, so
No offense, Demmer.
so that was awesome. Demmer came on
Yes,
the
it
show
was.
and filled us in, gave everybody a lot of information. I hope that helps everybody. That's our primary goal, of course, is to help those who,
Need help.
well, yes, and everybody interested in archery as well. Sorry, excuse me, but I guess that's it for another episode of Breaking Trad.
I guess
That-
so.
It is.
That is all.
Let's go eat
Tacos.
Where are we going to eat?
I don't know.
tacos of the not Taco Bell variety.
Oh, authentic.
We should talk to them about a sponsorship.
Well, we do eat there an awful lot.
Yeah.
An
Mhm.
awful lot. Yeah, we should do that. I'll put a little note in the table.
Yeah, there you go. Slide our card under the glass.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll
El
get read and not thrown away.
Molinos.
Well, all right, guys. Thank you for hanging out. And
Bye.
guys, we're glad you could join us for this week's episode of Breaking Trad. We hope you had as much fun as we did.
You can catch the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Spotify, and wherever you get your podcasts.
You can contact us at breakingtradpodcast@gmail.com or on Facebook at breakingtradal and on Instagram at breaking_trad. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel.
Remember to subscribe and follow us. That way you'll get notifications every time we drop a new episode.
Join us next week. And remember,
Make every shot count.